Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alex Mrak. What do E.T., Jurassic Park, and Saving Private Ryan all have in common? Tonight we are here together to commend one of the greatest directors of all time, and luckily for us, he's here in attendance. Some additional works of his are Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jaws, and Schindler's List. If you haven't already guessed it yet in your head and jumping up and down with the answer, tonight we'll be celebrating and commending Steven Spielberg. Throughout tonight, we will take a look into where he came from, as well as looking at two of his greatest accomplishments. First, let's take a peek into this great man's past. Steven Allen Spielberg was born on December 18, 1945. His father was an electrical engineer, and his mother actually worked two different jobs. One at a part-time job in a restaurant, and she also worked as a pianist, part-time as well on the side. Steven Spielberg had a great childhood. He grew up with many different extracurricular activities, and one of which was actually Boy Scouts. This is where he actually was first introduced and found his passion for film. A quote from Steven was, "My dad's still camera was broken, so I asked the scoutmaster if I could tell a story with my father's movie camera. He said yes, and I got an idea to do a Western. I made it and got my merit badge. That was how it all started." This is referring to how Steven, like I said, first got started in his directing and movie-making abilities. He earned the filmography or the photography merit badge by making a 9-minute 8mm film, and that was just one of the few that he made as a young kid. He actually made two additional films that were both 9mm, and he would actually show screenings at his house, and he would sell 25-cent tickets to the people that wanted to come for admission, and his sister would stand in the kitchen and sell popcorn throughout the viewings of the shows. Those few movies that I had mentioned were just a preview as to some of the great things and great films he was going to produce later on. Next, I was going to talk about one of his greatest films and my personal favorite, Saving Private Ryan. In this action-packed movie, Steven did an outstanding job capturing the emotion and tension that those storming the beaches of Normandy would have had. In addition to that, he also did a phenomenal job trying to recreate those different events that took place on those infamous beaches. Although some scenes may have been a bit too graphic and gory for some, I believe it did nothing but add to its validity. Showing those graphic scenes and how bad it was on those beaches, I believe gave people a look into how it might have been for those that were not very in touch with the military and stuff like that, so they had a better understanding of what those in the military, when they're overseas and deployed, actually go through. Finally, I'm going to touch on Steven's greatest film of all time, Jurassic Park. I must say, if you haven't seen this film, you're among the very few. In opening weekend alone, it brought in $18 million. Steven did a ridiculously good job bringing in the newer special effects into the movies and implementing those in. In fact, some actually left the movies debating whether or not dinosaurs were actually all extinct. They were questioning it because he did just a phenomenal job implementing those new special effects. In addition to this, he actually gave everybody notable characters they were able to relate to, which was another really big plus for the movie. And as if those two things were not enough, he gave the audience a very noteworthy ending. Now, I may not be able to close as well as Steven Spielberg did in Jurassic Park, but I'll try my best. Tonight, we first spoke on how this great man was brought up and raised, and also then we finally spoke on his two greatest films of all time. And in my mind, Steven Spielberg is without a doubt one of the most prominent, influential figures in America today.